welcome to my channel and thank you for being here. I'm going to be reviewing another Synastry aspect. So we're going to discuss the Sun conjunct Moon aspect in Synastry. The energy of the conjunction is immediate and it's felt right away. Use a tight orb of about 3 degrees. You can be generous and go up to 10 degrees as long as these luminaries are in the same signs. This is a soulmate aspect found in most married couples. Synastry is done by combining the charts of 2 different people. This chart could be done for people in a romantic relationship, in a marriage, in a business partnership, in a friendship, or in a mother and child relationship. Synastry is an overlay chart. We take a chart of one person and superimpose it on the other chart. This chart will show you how the individual planets in each chart will interact with the planets of the other person. The Synastry chart is used to evaluate what each one of you brings to the table and how it interacts with the other person. Synastry can also show you the karma and the possible longevity of the relationship, depending on the interaction of certain planets, points, or angles. So what is the Sun conjunct Moon Synastry all about? Simply put, that means the Sun and the Moon are in the same sign. Perhaps you have your Sun in the sign of Scorpio, and your partner also has the Moon in the sign of Scorpio. So let's look at what the Sun means in astrology. The Sun is a luminary. It rules the sign of Leo. It also rules the 5th house in the zodiac. The Sun is a beautiful luminary that gives light to the day, and everybody loves to look at the Sun. And this is why Leos are known as people who will steal the stage. They always want to be the center of the stage. And of course, we all love to look at a Leo and be entertained by Leos. The Sun also describes the masculine energy in our chart, our identity, our ego. The Sun is dominant in the sign of Leo. It rules the sign of Leo, so it's happy to be in Leo. It's also exalted in the sign of Aries, the 1st house of the zodiac. It's also happy to be in the sign of Sagittarius because Sagittarius is a fire sign. Let's look at what the Moon rules in the zodiac. The Moon rules the sign of Cancer. It is the natural 4th house of the zodiac. The Moon rules over the feminine energy in our chart. It rules also over our emotions. The Moon also rules over the IC, the 4th house of the zodiac, which is the most vulnerable point in the zodiac. Even though the ruler of the Moon is Cancer, the Moon is however exalted in the sign of Taurus. This is where the Moon is most comfortable in the zodiac. The Moon is a luminary which lights up the night sky, and we all love to look up at the night sky and look at the beautiful moon. The Sun and the Moon naturally go together. These are the luminaries that we need in order to have light in the day and to have light in the night. So here we have the perfect conjunction of masculine energy and the feminine energy. And this is why this is a soulmate link. This is a karmic link that often leads to marriage. It's very likely that you find this aspect in the charts of married couples or people who are seriously dating in a serious committed relationship. When these 2 luminaries meet in Synastry, you're going to feel like you've met your other half because these 2 are natural partners in the zodiac. They just naturally go together. So in the conjunction, you're going to be ruled by one sign. If this conjunction happens in the sign of Libra, you're going to be both ruled by Venus. So there will be more Venusian themes going on in your relationship. Personally, I prefer the opposition simply because these two luminaries are being ruled by different planets. Each person is bringing in different energy. If this opposition happens in the sign of Libra and Aries, you have Aries being ruled by Mars. So you have that Martian energy, which matches perfectly with the Libran energy ruled by Venus. You have Venus and Mars, the 2 lovers, and then you have the Sun and the Moon opposing each other, who are also the 2 natural partners. So as you can see, Synastry is very complex. There are many variables to consider. Another thing you have to keep in mind is that this conjunction or opposition is not necessarily going to work out for everybody. You have to consider how your natal moon is aspected. Does your moon have challenging aspects? If it does, that means that you have your own personal challenges to overcome. And then when somebody brings their luminary, their sun, it will tend to highlight your insecurities and your emotional issues. So that might not necessarily work. They may understand you, but you will feel very uncomfortable with being exposed in the beginning. And if your sun is negatively aspected, then when the moon meets up with the sun, it's going to highlight the negative aspects to your sun. So a lot goes into evaluating synastry. So when you first meet the person you have this conjunction with, you're going to feel very, very comfortable around this person. You're naturally going to be drawn to each other because it's just natural for the sun and the moon to be together. Everything clicks. The sun person is comfortable with his ego and his identity, and the moon person is comfortable with the expression of their emotion and nature. It eliminates pretentiousness in a relationship. You're free to be who you are, express yourself as the sun and express yourself as the moon. Your true nature, your true self is exposed in this relationship. So there's no need for pretentiousness, mind games, manipulation, and there's a sense of natural devotion and loyalty to your partner. The sun is always going to rise in the morning and the moon is always going to come up at night. Always remember that one good aspect in synastry will not naturally lead to a long-term relationship or a marriage. It will definitely bring two people together. It's almost inevitable that you will notice each other when you meet. With this conjunction, the subconscious need of the sun person align with the needs of the moon person. There will always be a mutual understanding of what the other person needs. There's almost like telepathic communication here. You're definitely going to feel like you've met your other half. And what I really love about this conjunction is that you feel very natural with each other in a relationship. You almost don't need to communicate what you need. The other person instinctively knows how to please you and give you what you need. They really understand who you are emotionally, and they understand your identity, how you want to present yourself to the rest of the world. Sun conjunct moon synastry is yin and yang energies. This is the bread and butter of synastry. So the other person is always going to feel like your natural partner. Even in a business situation, you're going to feel like you really complement each other and fill in the gaps where it's needed. This is a great aspect to also have with a coworker or with a boss. It just makes work easier and getting things done. And in a sexual relationship, it definitely makes things easier, especially if the sun person is a male person and the moon person is a feminine person. This conjunction in this order makes understanding what your role is in the relationship. Not to say it doesn't work in the reverse order, it certainly does. It just makes it easier when the person with the masculine energy is the sun and the person with the feminine energy is a female. So if you have this synastry aspect in your relationship, it's definitely going to make getting along with each other much easier. However, it's not the only aspect that you need in order to make a relationship last. And this is why I always say, have your synastry chart read. The whole synastry chart will tell you the karma of a relationship and the possible longevity of the relationship. So if you haven't yet ordered a synastry chart reading with me, this is an excellent time for you to do so. I'm running a special on most of my readings. They are 40% off, so book now. This is a limited time special. The link to the synastry chart reading will be right below this video or in the comment section of this video. If you enjoy the content of this video, please leave me a like or a comment in the comment section of this video. Tell me if you have this conjunction in your synastry and how it has worked out for you. So let's take a quick look at the opposition. Sun opposite moon in synastry. This is the aspect I have in my current relationship. This is also another soulmate aspect which can bring two people together. Let's look at the opposition aspect, sun opposite moon in synastry. So with the opposition, there's a little bit of friction but intense attraction. These two people are very likely to get into some type of relationship, romantic relationship, or perhaps even marriage. This is another aspect that is found in most synastry charts of married people or people who have been in a long-term relationship. So the opposition draws these two people together to meet together in the middle. So the opposition always draws two people together. It's a magnetic attraction. I actually prefer the opposition because you have two different identities coming together, two different separate energies, and of course the sun and the moon are two different energies that express themselves differently in the signs, unlike with the conjunction in the same sign. And of course we always want to put opposite energies together, the masculine and the feminine energy coming together, drawn together by attraction, and bringing two different energies to the table. Let's get personal and tell you about my experience with these two aspects. I'm a Scorpio rising and my moon is in Taurus, so I always tend to attract people with their sun in Scorpio. The moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus, so this is very, very attractive to a Scorpio sun. It is essentially the perfect companion. exalted, meaning this is the best position that the moon could be in all the signs of the zodiac. So when the sun opposes the moon in Taurus, this is perfect compatibility. And who feels more secure with their emotions here? Of course, it's the person with the moon in Taurus. This is not really considered a romantic aspect in astrology. It is just a perfect alignment of the luminaries. And this is a great starting point in any type of relationship. So there's a strong sense of dependability in this relationship. And this is exactly what I experienced in my current relationship. In our relationship, there's no confusion about who's playing what role. And we're both very comfortable playing our roles. We complement each other in very special and expected ways. He knows exactly what to do in the relationship as the man in the relationship, and I know exactly what to do as the female in the relationship. We know how to take care of each other's needs without even having to ask. And this definitely makes getting along much easier. This aspect is a great aspect to have in synastry, but for sexual compatibility, you need other aspects to your Venus and your Mars. So if you have this synastry aspect with your partner, or if you have any questions, leave me a comment or a question in the comment section of this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family or on your social media platform.